The 2019 and up generation of the Mazda 3 is an exceptional economy car with personality and class in spades. It's not sporty and it's not ultra luxury, but it easily eclipses the Civic and the Corolla in my view because it's expertly designed, especially in the interior. Of course, it's not a crossover, it's a small car, it's an economy car, and it's not a RAV4, but equipped with all-wheel drive crossbars like I have on mine, I'm starting to wonder why I would ever want a crossover or an SUV. So this is coming from someone who previously drove his grandfather's '04 E-Class station wagon, and being honest when I say I don't miss the size or the gas bills of that, and I'm fine driving this smaller car that's proven to be exceptionally practical and just really thoughtfully designed. I purchased mine as a pre-owned unit at a dealer in Charlottesville, Virginia, and I had a pretty good experience with it. In the 4 months I've been driving it, I've driven up mountains with my bike on the roof. I've hauled it north on I-95 all the way to Maine and back. I've replaced the windshield and wipers because of an unlucky incident with a rock. And I put almost 7,000 miles on it. So needless to say, I've gotten to know this car. And to be honest, I'm excited to put 7,000 more on it. Keep in mind, this is not an editorial or journalistic review, rather a real world perspective from someone who spent real money on this real car and has a lot invested in it. So I'm not gonna pretend to be objective, but I'm gonna try to explain my favorite and least favorite things as someone who owns this car with a lot of stake in it. So my model is powered by the only engine currently available, which is a 4-cylinder, 2.5-liter Skyactiv engine from Mazda that is not turbocharged. So it's not a ton of horsepower, it's 186, plenty for this size of car. The fuel efficiency is not great because it's a 6-speed automatic, but it's still pretty cheap because it's not turbocharged. It takes standard gas, which I really appreciate. If you're expecting a Japanese Golf R when it comes to driving dynamics, don't. Like, this is not a sports car, like I said before, but I've been happy with it in general. And there will be a 2021 refresh that will add a turbocharged option if you're willing to spend a little more, which, you know, if you want to brag about horsepower, you'll be able to do that. When it comes to handling and the dynamics of this car, I still think it's excellent. I do wish that Mazda would kind of invest in all-electric versions of this car. It'd be great to see an all-electric version of this platform in a few years. It's affordable because this is such a great car, and as it is, it's a great gas car, but you know, we all know where the future is heading. But driving this with a harmonious blend of all-wheel drive, the torque vectoring, the simple but refined suspension system, it keeps me in control as the driver, and I like that. And thank you Mazda for not putting an automatic engine start-stop system in this car, because I hate those. I mean, they don't save that much gas mileage from what I'm aware of, and some cars do it better than others, but Mazda doesn't even bother, and thank you Mazda. I can turn off my engine on my own. When it comes to the cockpit, this is an addictive experience. From the moment I first test drove my 2019 model, I just instantly felt at home. Everything felt right, all the dials, all the switches and knobs. It's like sitting in a Volvo Cross Audi style interior. If you're familiar with either of those brands and what they're doing, you'll know that's a really good thing. It's simple, but everything you need is tactile, you know where it is. And there are some cost-cutting measures, like a manually adjustable passenger seat, even though the driver's seat is electronically controlled. There's some hard plastics, and you notice them because they stick out more in this interior because in general it is so nice, but they don't compromise it. I like CarPlay. My old car, again, '04 E-Class station wagon, absolutely no CarPlay to speak of. Having it in this is great. I know there's no wireless CarPlay, which I'm disappointed about. I'm also disappointed I didn't get the higher-end model that has wireless charging, but first world problems. I'm fine plugging in. But once I turn on the music in the interior, I'm surprisingly impressed by the Bose sound system. Oftentimes branded sound systems in cars don't mean much. In this one, it's not bad. My only regret is not getting the higher end model with the sunroof, because I like having sunroofs. That said, I have the crossbars, so at higher speeds, combined with the 2.5-liter engine, it's not a luxury car, but if you're coming from a previous Mazda 3 or even a Civic or Corolla, you're actually gonna find that the road noise in this is really nice. I hear the crossbars whistling at high speeds, but that's any car. I hear the engine, but hey, this is a gas car. So like, if you're fine with those things, the actual road noise, being on a highway, that's not a problem at all. And that's something I'm really pleasantly surprised by. Also, this interior. Mine's all stealthy black. I know some of the trims come with red. This is stealthy. Combined with a window tint, which I got, I've been really happy with it. I like that kind of, I don't know, stealthy black aesthetic. This is not for everyone. If you're into this spacious, kind of cavernous feel of a crossover and SUV, well, this is totally not going to appeal to you. This is going to feel claustrophobic, especially with the rear windows and the rear passengers not having their own air vents, which is understandable in a car at this price point, but it's something to consider. And, tint your windows, keep your passengers cool. And because of that, cramped rear end, you're only really going to realistically be able to have 2 adults in there, maybe 3 at most for short journeys. This is not a crossover and SUV. The back seats are usable, but think of it more like a slightly more practical Miata and not some shrunken down SUV, because that's not what this interior is. When it comes to the exterior, I don't think anyone can deny a lot of design and fabrication work went into sculpting this specific vehicle body. Like it or not, the Mazda 3 is a sleek, wide, and thick with 2 C's car, and it doesn't shy away from that. It's a distinctive road presence, and I really like that Mazda has committed to LEDs all the way around, taillights, headlights, everything. There's no fog lights, interestingly, but the headlights are bright enough. Most people don't need them. I'm personally a fan of how the hatchback looks, though I know that's kind of polarizing. There is a sedan version, and everyone seems to love the sedan version, so if you're off-put by the hatchback's distinctive appearance, consider looking at the sedan too, because that's also a great one. You'll be pleasantly surprised by how practical it is, especially as a hatchback, with how much you'll be able to do in it. It's, comparable to a Golf or something like that. Again, it's not an SUV. A friend of mine who's into cars said that the Civic and Corolla are the safe picks, right? I mean, there's the standard bearers in this category, inarguably. And then when I told him I got the Mazda 3, he said that's the life is short pick. I'm not sure I entirely agree with him, but I see what he means. This is not your conventional pick for an economy car, but I think it's proven to be an excellent economy car from my experience. Yes, the MSRP is pricier than a Civic or Corolla, but again, there are some deep sales going on because of Mazda having a hard time selling, a small economy car these days. So if you can find a good deal, if you can find a good used offer, take advantage of it and consider it. This is a great car with plenty of modern tech features, all the driver assistance stuff I didn't even mention, but it's decent. Mazda's, adaptive cruise control system and lane keep, it works. Taken as a whole, I think my Mazda 3 is a great car, and I think this is one of the most exciting economy cars that segment has seen in a decade, and an age when everything else seems to be all, attention on crossovers and SUVs. If you just want a small, normal car, really don't sleep on the Mazda 3. You won't regret considering it.